Are we ready?
It's ready?
No, wait, don't.
This is very exciting. Welcome to your first PAC meeting. Are we up and running? Okay. All right. Well, let's get started here. So we will start the meeting on Monday, December 12th at 6 p.m. Let's start with roll call.
Andy James Davis, at large.
Joseph Gonzalez, President.
Michael Phelps, Secretary.
All right, and absent today is Miranda and Vicky. I have nothing for President briefing, and move on to the Secretary's report.
Yep, I have the minutes here if you want to approve those.
This is just one copy.
Yeah, generally. I didn't ask her to pick one.
I know it's the opposite of what I'm supposed to say, but I like that.
I know you always throw me for that.
It's because I'm old and I write things down. And I like to touch things. Once it's on here, it doesn't exist.
That's fun.
These confounded machines and all.
Yeah, so I mean, everything's there from our last meeting, so I vote to approve the meeting minutes.
I guess I said. Since you can't.
All right, for the motions and voting between meetings, I have on December 3rd, Joe proposed providing checks this year for $50 to the full-time staff and $25 for part-time staff. Miranda seconded, everyone approved. Joe, also on the 3rd, Joe proposed purchasing a lotto ticketry for each staff member to pick from. Miranda seconded and all voted in favor. Joe proposed purchasing an additional small fridge for the staff break room. Miranda seconded and all voted in favor. Miranda proposed purchasing the sports pullovers for the basketball coaches. Joe abstained. Andy seconded, and everyone else approved. On the 8th, Joe proposed offering to pay for the kids in play who are having difficulties affording shoes or undergarments. And Vicky seconded, and Miranda and I voted yes. And then on the 8th, Jenna Phelps requested a $100 script gift card for kindergartens volunteer, and Joe proposed to the board, Vicky seconded, and I approved, and Miranda abstained. And I don't have any items that need to be voted on. Did you have?
Nope, I think that was everything.
Okay. The other thing I have is for follow-up. Between now and then, in January, I'm going to get the details for the to refile for the state the report, so we can say.
Okay. I guess items that need to be voted on, or I guess we can talk about it at this meeting and then vote on the next meeting or in between is the ice skating night. The cost for that went up from last year. And I'm trying to see what the cost difference is on what we paid last year as opposed to this year. So that would be something that we'd have to approve because the cost is going to be different this year. Whether we want to do it or not, will still be up for discussion. All right, so since Vicky's not here, I'll do the treasurer's report. Or Michael, do you have anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. So for November, beginning balance was $58,337.69. We had deposits of $13,910.66. We had checks for $33,436.70, and debit card transactions came out to $968 even, with an ending balance of $37,843.65. have our bank statements. You guys had a chance to look at those? I'm not sure.
I didn't.
Printed those out.
I do not, I'll take a look at it though.
Yeah, they're attached to that email.
You could look at the agenda.
Did you send those out today?
Yesterday.
I don't think I have it.
The actual agenda.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was gonna message you to see.
Yeah, it's on the website too.
Okay.
Yeah, I pulled the agenda up from the website, so I was leaving at the lunch menu earlier.
So Martha's not here for a group report. I'd like to, I guess we can talk about the contest results from the November contest next month and get an update from her. Tonight we have, we'll move on to committee updates. Tonight, Mercy Turner is in the house, so to speak. And, kind of just going over with Mercy, the events of this upcoming year. We have to get a meeting together to kind of go over what that is. I know ice skating will be one of the things that we talk about, and it's probably our next event coming up, or the closest event coming up. And what else? That's it for right now. As we get further down the agenda are a couple other events, and we can kind of touch on those when we get back to those, but that's all I have. And then Lisa, volunteers, any updates there?
Winter parties are going good. Planning is going good. Having a rough time with volunteers for some of the older grades, but just as the course of the year. And that's really it going on right now.
Do we need to put out any like extra communication for that, an email blast or?
You
Facebook
can
something?
try.
You
Not for
said
the parties, but just volunteer in general.
For like all areas.
Car line, lunch, recess.
All the things.
Okay. All right, so I have a uniform vert. I would say report, I guess I would say update. About the holiday store, right?
It should be in this week, and then I'll have a date once, I don't know what day it's coming in, but a time for pickup of stuff for people that want to pick it up, and otherwise we'll go home with the kiddos.
Okay. We did sell 31 of those ugly Christmas sweaters. So you'll see those floating around school.
And the store made a decent amount of money. I don't
Yeah,
remember what it was, but
$470, and Blythe has a check for us for $166.54 from the previous year. So, yeah, not bad. Some extra money coming in. Right, sustainability. Andy.
The holiday lights collection is going right now, December, January. And shoes was incredible. I'll post a picture, but we had at least 200 pairs.
Really?
Yeah, I counted around 100 when I remembered to start counting. And I'd already taken and dumped them, but we filled at least one 96-gallon recycling toter with all the shoes. And so those go out to the community, cleaned up, back out, or turned into like playground mulch or, things like that if they can't be actually put back out in the community. And it's they put back out to the local community, so that's it for now.
Awesome. Chrissy, she couldn't make it tonight. She texted me and said that there isn't a give back schedule yet for January, but she's working on it. And popcorn is going to be on 1/28. So January 28th. All right, next up is staff gifts. We did vote to give full-time staff a $50 check and part-time staff a $25 dollar check. So Vicky's in the process, once she gets back from vacation, to write those out, and we plan to distribute those on Wednesday.
Can we rewind just for 2 seconds? Did you say January 28th
For popcorn.
for popcorn? Okay, that's a Saturday.
That is the 27th.
All right, excellent.
Awesome. All right, so we put Discover Our World, or DAO, on the agenda tonight. Lisa, if you want to give us an update.
So Kelly and I looked at Uptown Social, and then we also looked at County Line Orchard, whatever, however you want to say it. And we talked to the Allure. The Allure was very expensive. So we crossed that one out. County Line was very expensive, but they have a business pricing that they're getting rid of, but they offered it to us even though they're getting rid of it. So that makes it much more affordable. So I think we're leaning that way, but we're just waiting on them to give us a contract back, a proposal back, so we could make sure that everything's included in there and all that stuff. But if we go with County Line, our minimum for food is $6,000, which shouldn't be a problem. We spent like $7,500 last year with food and drink, but they offer a open bar option for beer and wine for $12 a person. So we're thinking that, and this is all just me and Kelly thinking, but we're thinking that we will increase our ticket prices to $50 a person pre-order, $75 at the door, and once we have to get our number in, so like within that 2-week period where they used to go from 40 to 50, we'll increase that into 75, and it would be open bar for beer and wine. So that would be included with your ticket price, opposed to you have to buy drinks. So most people would probably come out ahead with that regardless. And we have to increase our prices regardless because everything is just increased. Like we haven't increased any of our ticket prices since I started doing DAO in 2017. And like the last couple of years, especially, even from last year to this year, everything is just crazy more expensive. So we have to increase ticket prices. We feel like that might be a good way to increase ticket prices and still entice people to come. So fingers crossed when they send us back the contract, that's where we want to do it. We never had it there before, so that'll be fun. Uptown Social is a really cool place too, and definitely somewhere we'll keep in mind in the future if County Line works out this time. So, and then we will, through the school, we'll put down a deposit for that, for the rental and whatnot, so we won't need you guys to do that. So we will, once we figure out for sure where it's going to be, then we'll communicate what exactly we'll need from PAC. It might be like the little things for deposits on some like entertainment, which we haven't talked about or really decided yet. And then like working with volunteers, and then we'll just have like a committee like we did last year, so we'll be open to anybody, but kind of led by the school board instead of PAC, if that makes sense.
When are you going to announce the committee?
We need to we want to decide where we're going to have it, and then once we decide where we're going to have it, then we will have a committee meeting probably the first week in January when we're back. I was hoping to have something today, but they didn't send us the proposal back.
Do you have a proposed date?
Yes, 3/3/23. It's a Friday.
It's easy to remember.
All right, anything else with that?
That's a good time. There's not as much going on then.
Yes, well, that's kind of where we had leaned before COVID.
That's right, the last one right before.
And then with COVID last year, we wanted outdoor if we could, indoor kind of a thing, so that's why we pushed it up.
Okay.
Does County Line do anything outside? I mean, obviously, that day you probably wouldn't want to, but if it was like.
So they do, if we had less than 200 people, we can rent the sides of County Line. So it's like one big space, or they could separate it into 3 spaces. The middle space is where we have to be, which is huge. It's almost too big, honestly, for us. But they won't let us rent out the sides unless we can guarantee less than 200, and we're usually right over that. So the sides you can do like a fire pit, but the middle, they don't have like a fire pit. There's like, you can go outside, but there's not like an area.
Yeah, March is always hit or miss too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think on that, it would be definitely a risk that it'll be, 20 degrees or.
Yeah.
With the open bar, do you think, we'll make less money?
We don't usually make too much money on drinks, so not really too worried about that. We had like this, no. Because the drinks have gone up so much in like the last 3-4 years that we kind of usually break even. With it, we might make a little bit of money, but it's not enough to, if we're increasing ticket prices, I think it'll break even with it. And maybe we could have like a specialty drink that costs, if people wanted to buy that, that's some kind of alcohol other than beer and wine, but the beer and wine would be, it would kind of be like when we did the wine tasting.
Yeah.
I know in the past, I feel like people end up buying a lot of tickets for teachers for alcoholic beverages, or at least that's my experience when I've been there.
You mean like for, but it would be,
Like they'd be like, oh, hey, Mrs. DeNormandy, like, you're my kid's teacher, here's like 5 drink tickets, right?
but they're still like paying for the tickets where like it would just kind of, we won't necessarily make money that way, but we really weren't making too much money with the, like even when they were buying tickets, because beer and wine has gone up so much. Like last year, I think it was $6 for the cheapest that we were paying, so it doesn't really add up to.
Okay. Well, yeah, look forward to that committee starting and knowing what you guys need support with.
And yes, like that's definitely something we could discuss. Like it's not cut and dry. That's what we're gonna do, but just kind of thinking outside of the box on ways that we could increase ticket sales without it feeling so gross.
Got it.
I think it'd be a lot easier not to have to buy drink tickets. 'Cause you're like, what line am I supposed to be in? Wait, what? Oh, I thought I already bought tickets. No, that was for something else. So, I mean, not specifically this, but that's one less thing to worry about and count.
Unless people we need to sell stuff to, so.
All right, so next thing is the 5K. I don't have an update from Dan, but last I heard, he was trying to form a committee for that.
It was May 20th?
Yes.
They did meet. They were
They did.
meeting when me and you were in here, right?
Okay. So they did meet.
Last week.
So yeah, I mean, so for the 5K Mercy and for Dow, like I want you just to be in the know of that stuff. So we can talk about that more, but those are 2 major events.
Mercy's gonna be in the know with Dow, all right?
All right. Recognition, any other recognition?
I'm always going giving shout outs. I'm gonna shout out this time.
I just want to recognize all the teachers and staff for this year as we close out the 2022 and move into 23, is recognizing them for doing what they do at our school.
I have one question about the ice skating.
Yeah,
How much more was it?
I don't know, I have to see what the cost was compared. This year, it's going to be like $4,000.
What?
And it's like $3,999.
For one night?
And you can only have 200 people?
What's that?
You can only have 200 people max, right?
Not ice skating, water park.
Water park. I was gonna say, like.
I was like, I think it
that's
was like
insane, like-
$800 last
I was
year.
like, I'm like, wait,
No, no, no.
I was like, even if you get 200
$4,000.
people out there, you're not gonna be able to skate because it's like.
No, the water park, I'm
You're already
sorry.
doing a water park. Good, excellent. I'm glad. Book ahead, year in advance.
That makes much more sense.
Yeah, and there's only certain days available this time around, so, yeah. Yeah, we already have ice skating booked, that's for March,
That's
5th, yeah. So that's booked and ready to go.
Do you know the time on the ice skating?
Yes, it's like 6, no, it's like 7.
6 to 9, I think.
6
6
to
to
9.
On a Sunday, right?
Yeah, Nice.
Last year was the first time we made it, because I had littles, I'm like, we're in bed at 7.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not,
yeah, they only rent it out like later at night.
well, that makes sense though.
During the day.
It's just like the water park though, then it's kind of just for us and
Mhm.
it's really nice.
Right, public comment? Alright. Any questions from YouTube?
Yeah, is anyone watching?
I don't know how to tell.
It should say down in the corner.
Right, you're logged in, right?
1.
That's probably you.
Excellent. Hi, Lisa.
There's a chart, is that viewers?
It looks like there was 5 at one point.
Oh.
I know they do watch it later sometimes. I've heard about it.
Let's see, I watch it later.
All right, meeting adjourned. 6:21.
Is that like the world record for the shortest meeting?